In our world, we are being presented with many problems. Albert Einstein gave great advice in this matter when he said problems cannot be solved by the level of knowledge or awareness that created them. In other words, we have to get outside our own boxes. Well, a mystic sees beyond a box to what has been hidden or what has been forgotten, what is not seen. My name is Sharon Raji Maynard. It was curiosity that took me on a radical search for answers. And those answers came to me from ancient ones, those in spiritual worlds, unseen to the eye. And this knowledge foundations my podcast, A Mystic's View. Come as you are to see situations through my eyes as we sit together. Diversity, uniqueness, is a natural condition, a natural outcome within humanity, and hearing diverse ideas and thoughts expands our own capacities. So I encourage you to listen to A Mystic's View, to hear, to be enhanced, and to consider other possibilities. I welcome you to this journey. Welcome, Mystic listeners. I'm so happy that so many are finding their way here. Being a rather newbie, I should say novice, at this podcasting experience, your presence lifts my heart. It keeps me going. Now, some ways you can help keep my Mystic podcast available is by rating the episodes on your podcast platform. Share the series with your friends. And of course, I invite you always to check out my Patreon community. In that community, I have named Deep Roots. I am presenting monthly an opportunity to meet and have conversations with women who are weaving our world new. How can we create collaboration when we don't even know of one another? So go on over to patreon.com/A Mystic's View. Check us out. At this point, as I'm writing, I realized that I was thinking, why are you spending so much time talking about platform and Patreon and support? And well, it's because I love you guys. And I realized that this is a perfect segue back to our last episode. So I am leaping over past experiences of women discounting themselves, of pulling down their sisters, over eons of struggling over the same man and giving up your personal dream to keep your man succeeding. I am jumping the mud puddles of domestic abuse and of being blamed for male sexual behavior. In that inner time, when I embraced the white mama and the black mama of my client, when our tears rolled down our faces from some new understanding, that in-between experience, all those times between 2019 and that past circle began to dissolve away with the new understanding. When I asked the black mama, will you teach us the vibrancy of the songs and the dance? For her lineage had promised to retain it, and from a new place of respect and humility, I understood that. She was the keeper of the aspect of our collective circle that I associate as joy. Her lineage had been true to their promise, and instead of feeling threatened or overwhelmed by their loudness and joy, I saw it from a new place, a place of excitement to learn. Well, mostly excitement to learn. Because of my own white lineage to hide the female gifts, the female energies of excitement and skills, I had viewed my reaction and behavior to distance myself from the waves of exuberance. I had. For in being a spy amongst the invading, occupying forces, my lineage, I had to stop all the harmonics of that powerful female, or I would be found out and I would be killed. If I was unable to find the key to stop and remove these parasitic troops, all of our families would be overrun. We would be owned. We would be bled to death. Such was the contract of my lineage. In this moment, there was a juncture. Live or die. Those who had kept aspects of the female alive for generations were fulfilling on their contracts. And my client's white mama was there to add a critical piece, a piece of safety. For that was the contract of her lineage, of my lineage. Unless that key could be found and anchored, our sisters of other lineages would remain at risk, their passion flowing with whatever aspect of the magnificence of the divine wholeness they held would attract the forces who would use it for their benefit or would crush it to prevent unified power of those who opposed their domination and usury. So I ask her, are you ready to give the circle the key to stop and remove these killing forces? My client's white mama was in tears when she answered, deeply troubled. I don't know how. She did not know the key. She did not know a way to stop and remove the forces who were crushing the female, entrapping our earth, destroying families. And yet there was a very subtle expectation that she had that knowledge. Here I am going to stop, like I often do, for a pause. Here is where I'm going to say, take a breath. Ponder, what does that situation mean and look like today? White women were to have a key of protection and safety, and they had gotten that key by becoming as if one of the dominators in order to find a vulnerable spot. Other lineages had been holding on, despite all that they went through, to some vibrancy. They were waiting for the key to take them from vulnerability to safety. What does that look like today? The promise that white lineage, make yourself small, look like dominating forces, stay silent in the face of control, even abusing behavior, or you will be found out and will not fulfill your mission. So jot some ideas. What do you see? And consider that in 2019, the consciousness of the ones holding that contract, that lineage, here she is in tears. Deep sadness because she has not fulfilled on the promise. She cannot embrace her black mama and say, I will keep you safe as you dance. I will teach you to keep yourself and your children safe with this key. But she can't do that because she says, I don't know how to keep us safe. If that promise is not fulfilled, then the culture that is afraid of and shoots to kill the children who are exuberant and loud, and that same culture that spreads greater and greater tentacles to control and discount and use women who are silent, remains intact. In this moment, there is an opportunity of a turning point, a shift. It is for moments like these that a mystic has been prepared. It is a time when what one knows from schools, books, lectures, tapes, and especially from Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram is not enough. There are answers, guidance, power in the world and individuals beyond all of our five senses. And so when my client's white mama said, "I don't know how," she speaks for the majority of white women in this 2019 world. In that world, women know a lot. They know our children are being ravaged, families being pulled apart. They know forests are being eliminated, that water, air, soil is being ravaged and poisoned. They know leaders hear the clink of money, but not the visions, voices, and pain of the people. And women know it must stop. The loudness of the voices, the numbers of the marches, the passions of the anger, will all of these efforts be met and crushed by the forces of domination and agendas, just like villages in that very far away past. White mama is in tears because she has not learned of the key to prevent the villages from being crushed. And then that is when I whisper into the small circle of these two mamas, I do. I do. And I'll teach you, and we'll teach the circle. Now I pause and ponder. Was my journey from 1971, where I served pie and ice cream to two husbands, sharing how to hear HF, Heavenly Father, through the cracking piece by piece of my inherited box. Was that journey for this moment in time? Well, I did say we live forward and understand backward, so perhaps. In my inner vision, the three of us, white mama, black mama, and I, walk out of the grove from which we had been observing. We walk toward the circle of sisters of the past. They turn, and in recognition, in knowing, they open the circle and make place for us. There seems to be no surprise on their faces. It's as if they have been holding the circle energy for eons and eons, one generation after another, as their daughters, granddaughters, great and great granddaughters burst into the future of unknown, but carrying with them the contracts of these maternal women. And I began to speak, as I have in many circles in this lifetime, as me. And I say, I'm so honored to be with you, my sisters. We three have come from the future, from the journey of assignment you sent us on. We are those who have returned, and I know there are many others who will find their way back to these roots, to these promises, to their place within the circle of female power. I carried the promise to find the vulnerable spot within the approaching hordes, the weakness that would allow us to preserve the sacred way of being on this planet in safety. In my return, I'm able to tell you that I am prepared to give you that key. And as I sit with them, I feel the clarity of what I have spoken. I feel the deep, solid roots of these sisters. I feel the presence of Earth Mother and sensed the cocooning embrace of Father Son. And as I open my eyes in that place, I see the tears in our circle. And then I look, and there are lights surrounding our gathering. And within the glorious glow, the dancing of that light, rows upon rows, upon rows, upon rows, seemingly unlimited, of smiling, loving beings from beyond our sight. They are prepared to act on the commands I'm ready to give these souls in female bodies. I don't know what 2019 event would give you a sense of this back in time moment. Not a music concert or sports event. There is a feel of lifting into a new yet old affirmation of, yes, we have this. And I sense from the circle of women, oh, we are not alone. An embracing remembrance like a family reunion at its best. And then the attention shifts back to me. And I say, there are lots that I could share with you and will over time. The most important for now is that you, souls, are now in physical female bodysuits that have had all the circuitry for your voice of design, discernment, and authority on this planet re-engineered to its original programs. The power centers, codes, DNA wiring for that authority of stewardship, which had been diverted to servitude, has been corrected. With that correction called for, programs and codes created and anchored, your voice singly or together will be heard and answering, beginning with these teams. And I gesture to those around them in circle. With these teams from homes beyond Earth, they are here as partners in this work. And so in this moment, it is for each of you to request and accept those restored gifts. And here is another pause for you as a 2019 Mystics View listener. Pause and ask yourself, are you ready? Ready to join this invitation along with your maternal ancestral line? If you are not ready, that is certainly okay. Discernment and listening to your own inner wisdom is paramount. Are you ready? And in our past collective circle, the sisters close their eyes. They reach for each other's hand. And then they say, yes, I open to, accept, and anchor the restoration of the female's right of design, discernment, and authority on this planet. I breathe. I feel my hands being squeezed by the white mama, the black mama. And my eyes open. I see my apple trees dancing in the wind. I'm back in 2019 knowing that the rest of the story, the experience that my client's white mama and black mama has taken me, has more to show and more to share. Well, there you have it until next time.